Now, we also spoke with a retired political science professor from Clemson. Dr. David Woodard tells us about how the former president was a relatable man, and a lot of history goes with him.
A lot of history went with Jimmy Carter. He was the first Southern president to be elected from the South to the presidency since the Civil War. The South was devotedly Democratic, but the best they could do was come up with vice presidents on the ticket because the scar of the Civil War was so deep that nationally the South was sort of out of the mainstream. So for his victory in 1976, it was historic, and it sort of opened the South up to being a part of the American dream and everything, which it had been sort of at the last of the train most of its existence after the Civil War. About 100 years it voted Democratic and generally was far behind economically until about the 60s and 70s. He was all Southern. You know, he lived in Plains, Georgia. He grew up on a farm. He went to the Southern Baptist Church. He taught Sunday school. He went to Georgia Tech and then to the Naval Academy. And the South had a long history of military service. He was just a country boy and sort of epitomized a lot of Southern life from Texas to Florida up to Virginia. And there was a lot of pride in the South that came with his election in 1976. What he should be remembered for, despite the fact he did not have a successful presidency, he was a successful man. And out of office, he was exemplary in the way he conducted himself and in the things he did, which says a lot about his character because he lost terribly. And Ronald Reagan was a very popular president for 2 terms. So in that midst, he could have sulked away and, complained or something like that, but you never saw any of that out of Jimmy Carter. He kept on doing his business, his shoulder to the wheel, and I thought he was exemplary as a former president.